Hello guys, it's David Dominesi. It's come time to paint the table of the surface grinder, and because the grinder table is going to be exposed to flood coolant so often, I've chosen a paint that is water cured. That's POR or POR 15. The wetter it is, the harder it gets. Now I want to use the Hardnose paint, as you see here before you now. It is a two-part paint, and it's some of the hardest paint on the earth, and great for an application like the surface grinder table and flood coolant. But in order to apply this paint, there's a somewhat complicated system that we have to be familiar with. So let me go over that, and hopefully it'll help somebody. Now what I'm interested in painting primarily is going to be bare metal. This is the wheel guard off of the surface grinder. I need to do some finishing in the sandblaster. It's down to bare metal now. So when I paint it, of course, it'll be bare metal. Much of the table, however, is already painted, so this system will work equally well for bare metal and for painted surfaces. This is going to have to be prepared properly. The integrity of the coating, the greatness of the coating, has everything to do with preparation. If you apply paint to dirt or loose particles or to oil or to wax, it'll just fall off, chip, bubble over time. So the cleanliness, the preparation is the most important thing. POR 15, or POR 15 like some people say, sticks very good to a zinc phosphate coating, so they have products that give you a zinc phosphate coating for the product to work extremely well. I'll show those to you. So what do? First, you go to the 99-cent store and you find awesome degreaser. Purple Power Works, any of those water-based degreasers, they're wonderful. This is cheap and some of the best stuff you can use on the earth. And it's 99 cents. So, I have sandblasted, cleaned the best I could. We'll begin with degreasing. I'm going to wear gloves, obviously. This is an alkaline cleaner and it rips the fat out of your skin. Makes your skin wrinkle and feel terrible. It degreases your skin. You don't want that. So wear gloves. Use this on everything. It'll take paint off if you keep it on paint for too long, and it'll dull glossy paint too. But for painting over a previously painted surface, that works out just fine. So I'm going to start with that. Let's put that over here. Okay, step 2 in the POR 15 products is their cleaner degreaser. Of course, you'll follow the label to the T. This has to be cut at least 1-to-1 with hot water. It can be cut 5-to-1, 10-to-1. My intent here is not to read you the label. Everybody can do that. Get it, read the label, follow it exactly the way it says, and it'll work out great for you. Cleaner degreaser. Next step. Metal prep. The metal prep is something that removes rust, even though you can paint directly over rust with POR 15. The most important part of the metal prep is on bare metal, it gives you a zinc phosphate coating, which the POR 15 paint loves to stick to. So use metal prep. Comes with a sprayer. It's reusable also. You can soak metal in it. That's that step. Very important. What's next? Here's their patch. Now this is going to be for low spots or for cracks. I have several low spots on the surface grinder table because of the paint that's been gouged out. In other little gullies and cracks, you'll use the patch. It's a seam sealer, a filler. Comes in this tube here. It's extremely difficult to sand once it's hardened, so you don't want to build it up too high. Just put on almost exactly what you need to be on. If you get it on your skin, and you let it get hard, it'll stay there till it wears off. The next step is the paint. So we move into what we're going to call the base coat. And the base coat is going to be the regular Pour 15. This happens to be the semi-gloss black. This is what the hot rod guys love to put on their chassis. It's great, long-lasting, water-cured. It's almost impossible for metal to rust when Pour 15's on it. The wetter the metal gets, the harder the Pour 15 gets, and the better it protects. Wonderful stuff. But there's even something more wonderful, and you saw that in the first shot. Additionally, I don't want the surface grinder to be black. I want it to be gray. I want the Hardnose 2-part paint. We can't paint the 2-part Hardnose paint directly on metal. We have to start with this Pour 15 rust preventative, what we're calling now a base coat. You have to start with that. Remember that. Now when we're done with this, and we've allowed it to cure for the appropriate time, in order to use the Hardnose paint, we must now use a self-etching primer. And that is a Pour 15 product. That's what we'll be using. This is their water base, what they call a tie coat primer. This is a high build primer that will attach your top coat to the base coat. So follow the directions. Put this on, allow it to cure, and then move to that. Which brings us to our final coat. Now, let me move that back there. And we'll put this on at last. That's the Hardnose that you saw in the beginning. And that, of course, has a hardener. You would mix this in a separate container, following the directions very carefully. This paint is gray, and it's gonna be beautiful. We'll want to put more than one coat of this top coat on, maybe 2, maybe 3, but at least 2. And the second and the third coats get increasingly harder to apply by brush, so they need to be thinned a little bit. And we'll be thinning that with xylene. Hard to get this in California. Matter of fact, no one will sell it to you, so you just get it on Amazon. Isn't that something? Now I'll be brushing all of these products on, not spraying. The directions are completely different for spraying. I only have some wheel guards to do and some flood splash guards to do, and the table of the surface grinder, so I don't need very much. These come in gallons, of course, and they're very expensive. This entire system is expensive, but we're only going to paint it once for my lifetime. You know, this quart here was $40 or so. The primer's $40. The Hardnose paint was $75, and that's just for a quart. So it's a lot of money involved, but there's no use painting it 2 or 3 times. We're going to do it once, we're going to do it right, and it's going to be beautiful. So let me encourage you, if you have anything to paint, machinery particularly, that you want to have this some of the hardest paint on the earth on, and especially if you have something that you're starting with bare metal that you never want to rust, or metal that might be exposed to water on a periodic basis, like a surface grinder table that's involved with flood coolant, and you want to use this Hardnose 2-part Pour 15, let me encourage you to follow this system and arrive at great results. Okay, there we have the Pour 15 system that I'll be following to paint the surface grinder table. Thanks for watching. David Dominesi, take it easy.